I am an independent writer. I've only had 3 major stories published, and I'm currently working on the next one. I've also only just begun, so I'm a little new to this. I'm still learning, and I'm still growing. And did I mention it's late right now? It's so late that I should probably be asleep. However, I'm in a rush to hurry downtown to see if I can get my story approved to the editor-in-chief. And although it's pouring down pretty hard right now, I can make it to his office just in time to get this story published for tomorrow morning. I drove through the pouring rain with ease. Nothing but excitement came over me since I was so confident and proud in what I had wrote. I pulled into the parking lot and I could see that the chief editor was still here. His black Porsche stayed parked in front of me while it took this enormous beating from this rain. I walked in and I greeted security. "Hey, Sean," I said to him. "Hey, Jasmine?" he said as he looked at me in confusion. I know you are one for getting here pretty early, like a reasonable time, but it's 11 p.m., so does that make you late?" I laughed, a little embarrassed, and responded back to him. "Oh, come on. I'm only here because I have a story that I wrote, and I'm trying to get it published for tomorrow morning." Tomorrow morning?" he said in shock. "Jasmine, the only one that's here right now is the editor-in-chief, and you're the only writer here. Even if he likes your story, who would stay and get it ready in time?" "Well, you're looking at her, the one and only," I told him. "You said it yourself. I'm the only writer here, so I'm the only one willing to stay up all night to have it ready by the morning." Sean looked at me and smiled. "Wow, you really are dedicated, huh? Well, I guess that's what would make you a really good writer. But hey, don't let me stop you. Good luck." "Thanks, Sean," I said back to him. "Hey, how about tonight I'll order food for the both of us? On me? How does that sound?" "Sure thing. I'll see you soon, alright?" I quickly got onto the elevator and selected floor number 7. As nice and new these buildings are, the elevators are pretty slow. As the elevator began to go up, all of a sudden, thunder rumbled through the vents, and it shook the elevator to its core, making the light flicker aggressively, and for a moment, it's like it stopped. Suddenly, the light turned red. There was a moment of silence. The only thing you could hear was my heavy breathing and my heart beating out of my chest. My excitement was gone. Joy, gone. Nothing but fear filled my heart. And then, the lights quickly changed back to its bright white color, and the elevator music returned. It was almost like, in that moment, I imagined it, but then I heard the elevator intercom turn on. "Jasmine, Jasmine. Hey, are you okay? That was pretty crazy, huh?" I looked around. "Sean, is that you?" I asked. "Yeah, it's me. Are you okay? We lost power for like a quick minute, but it's back on now." "Oh God, please tell me you're not stuck. I don't need to call the fire department up here, do I?" I looked at the digital screen in relief, seeing that I was going up and now on floor 6. "No, Sean, I'm good, actually," I told him in relief. "The elevator's going up, and I'm about to reach my floor. Thanks for looking out, I appreciate it. Hey, no problem. If you need anything or get stuck again, just hit that red button. The cameras won't work if the power's out, but I'll be able to hear you just fine. And hey, you probably don't need it, but again, good luck in there. I waved at him goodbye, and I proceeded to step out onto floor 7. I took one big deep breath. I told myself that what I've created here was a great story. It was going to be the best one in a long time. Garbage, said the editor-in-chief. What do you mean, garbage? I asked him in a panic. Hold on, did you even read it though? I mean, like, really read it? I understand that the beginning doesn't automatically grab your attention, and that's exactly why I was trying to use the major headline kind of like a boost. I mean, doesn't that want you to want to read more? Here, listen to this. Videotaping in our public buildings. Are we protesting and protecting our rights to the freedom of press? Or are we creating an environment where the wrong people could take advantage of? No. Just no, he told me. My joy and excitement really left the room completely. Look, Jasmine, maybe I didn't mean it when I said it was garbage. All right? It's good. It's just okay. But the city has been on a constant protest for the last 5 days in a row. I'll hold on to your story and publish it at the right time, but I think the last thing these people need is this. I need something to get their minds off of all this protesting just for a little bit. You get that, right? I could tell he could see the disappointment in my face. And as much as I was really trying not to show it, I couldn't help it. I kept from making eye contact with him and nodded my head like I was agreeing with him. He stared at me for a brief moment and then said, "All right, look, you want something published tomorrow morning? Well, you're in luck. That's why I'm still here tonight in my office. Get me something that I can approve. That way at 4 a.m., when everyone starts getting here, we can get it printed and published in time for the 6 a.m. news. Got it?" I kinda liked that idea. I wasn't too thrilled having just a few hours coming up with the story, especially not the story I had originally planned, but it was better than nothing. Whatever I come up with now will get me by for a few months, and whenever he does decide to publish my original story, that will get me by another 2. So what the heck? All right, you have a deal. I'll have it ready in time. Just as soon as I was getting ready to step out and get to work, he stopped me. Hey, hold on, just 1 second. Come here. As I turned around, he took his hand and rummaged inside a jar. I couldn't quite make out what it was until he pulled it out and handed it to me. There, in his hand. Here, I got a whole bunch of these dropped off today. I think it's from that lady there at that 24/7 Japanese restaurant. But here, maybe this will help you with some inspiration with this short notice. A fortune cookie? I said it like I was in shock. Yeah, just at least get your fortune for tonight. You don't have to eat it. I grabbed it from his hand and said thank you and left. I got back onto the elevator to go talk to Sean, just for a little bit before I began working. And then the intercom in the elevator turned on. What's with the long face? Come on now, You knew that you were going to have to stay here all night just to get that story done and published by the morning. I looked down, trying to hide my face of embarrassment, and then responded to him. Well, what can I say? I was a little cocky, and turns out I need to work on a different story and get it done before 4 a.m. Maybe, if you're willing to, you could help me with some inspiration. I'm headed your way right now. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, said Sean. Well, look, I'm about to go do my rounds here in a few minutes. You're welcome to help yourself to the computer at my desk. And hey, how about this? Don't even worry about food. I ordered us some from that Japanese place that's down the block. Believe it or not, it's open like 24/7. So don't even worry about it. But hey, you'll owe me next time. I laughed and then responded to him. Alright, well, I'll see you when I get back from your rounds. And thanks again for the food. Don't mention it. I'll see you soon. The intercom cuts off, and just as our conversation finished, the elevator doors open to what is now floor 1, the lobby. Instead of getting off and walking over to Sean's desk and waiting for him, I stood there inside the elevator. Do you know what happens when you're the only one in the entire building using the elevator and nobody else is getting on or off? You just stay there, and you don't get off on the floor. Well, the doors, they close, and you just stay there. It won't move on its own, like up or down. It just simply stays there, frozen in time. As I squeezed my hands, I could feel the wrapper that contained the fortune cookie the editor-in-chief had given me. I opened it, thinking back to what he said about finding inspiration. As I opened it, I cracked the fortune in half, and I was immediately taken back. This wasn't like a normal fortune cookie, you know, ones that tell you about your fortune, your luck. It was more like instructions. Instructions to a game. My fortune read this: follow the numbers in order to get to the other side. Don't look at the lady that enters on level 5. Follow the sequence to the very end. If you must leave, go backwards and say goodbye to your friend. What? Follow the sequence? Say goodbye to your friend? What kind of fortune is this? I turned the paper around, and there it was. Not my lucky numbers, but the sequence. 4, 2, 6, 2, 10, 5. Sean did say he was leaving for a bit to do his rounds in the building. So I mean, it wouldn't hurt to play this game for a quick minute. I mean, it's just a game. It's not like it does anything. I mean, what could it do? I'm already on floor 1, so I just need to go to number 4. I slowly lift up my hand. I take my finger, looking for the number 4, and just lightly place my finger over the button, staring at the digital screen at the very top of the elevator, still reading 01. All right, I said to myself. Maybe by the time I'm done, Sean will be back at his desk. Let's begin. The elevator begins to go up, and just like that, the digital screen changes from 01 to now 04. The door opens, and I peek out for a quick minute, looking left and right, looking left again, and then right. Hello? I said in the pure nothingness and darkness, knowing no one was there but my silly side just trying to make humor of it all. I mean, come on, it's the perfect scare tactic. The rain, the elevator music, it's dark and it's late. I'm just trying to make it not so tense. I bring my entire body into the elevator, and the doors begin to shut. All right, next floor is number 2. Again, as I stare at the digital screen that's reading 04, I firmly press down on number 2. The elevator begins to go down, and as I reach the floor, the doors open. Again, nothing. For some reason, this moment, I begin to feel a little uneasy. I don't bother stepping out or cracking a joke. I just stand there, staring out into the empty halls that lead ahead. And just like that, the elevator doors, they close. Now, floor 6. I waste no time, as I kinda do begin to come a little bored. And I press down on number 6. Watching the digital screen change, the elevator begins to go up. As the elevator began to go up, it happens again. Thunder screaming through the vents, rattling the elevator, lights flickering, and for a split second, everything went black. The lights came on, but this time, red. I ran up to the red button and pressed it firmly, trying to get a hold of Sean. But instead, I got sent to what I could only assume was a voicemail. We're sorry for the inconvenience, but security is not available at the moment. But we'll get back to you shortly. Please, if this is an emergency, remain calm. After the message cut off, the lights turned back to its bright, white color. And then the elevator bell went off. I looked up, and I could see that the digital screen now read 06. What the hell? I said to myself. Was the elevator moving this whole time? It almost felt like it had stopped. Outside looked normal again. Empty, but normal. I stood there confused, and just like that, the elevator doors closed again. Before I did anything else, I looked at my fortune. The next floor was 2 again. It was weird. At this point, I noticed I couldn't hear the elevator music anymore. It was almost too quiet. I looked at the digital screen and watched it begin to change as I pressed down on the number 2. The elevator began to go down. As it went down, it started not to feel so smooth as it was before. It was almost like it was bumping on something, back and forth, back and forth. The elevator bell goes off and the doors open. I'm back on floor 2. My stomach began to feel a bit uneasy. I could see the stairwell nearby, and at this point I wanted nothing more than to just get off and walk downstairs. I felt like, in that moment, maybe I was just overreacting. But could you blame me? The elevator has given me 2 heart attacks so far, and I've been going up and I've been going down on this thing like a child. However, I brushed it off, and in that second, the elevator doors shut. This time it was rough, like it was quick and loud. I did my best to ignore it and look down at my fortune. I was almost done. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up, and I guess this is the moment I begin to second guess everything. I stood there for what felt like forever and reminded myself that I had to get this over with and stop playing around. I had a story I needed to write and get done before 4 a.m., and it's not going to write itself. That nervous feeling stuck with me as I continued and pressed down on number 10. The elevator began to go up, but this time it took what felt forever. It was slower. I could hear that the elevator was moving, but the digital screen was moving extremely slow. As I got to level 7, the lights began to flicker. Oh no, please, not again. I thought to myself that the second the doors open, I would just get off and walk the rest of the way down. This was just all becoming too much. And honestly, I was starting to get a headache and began feeling almost nauseous. Then suddenly I heard it again. The bell ringing from the elevator. I had finally reached the 10th floor. The elevator doors began to open. It was at this moment I honestly didn't realize it till now that I had never been to the 10th floor. Everything in front of me was so unfamiliar. There was large windows that reached all the way to the ceilings, straight down to my left. I had really convinced myself that I was done playing this game, and I was going to go look for the stairs and walk the rest of the way down. But before I could fully step off of the elevator, the intercom inside kicked on, and I could hear Sean trying to get my attention. "Hey, Jasmine, did you just try to reach me?" I responded to him in relief. "Sean, hey, yeah, I'm sorry. For a minute I thought I was stuck in the elevator." The doors to the elevator began to shut, and I was back inside. "Well, I just finished my rounds of the building. Have you been stuck in there since we last spoke?" I was embarrassed and told him, "No, not really. I'll explain it when I get back downstairs. It's stupid, really." "What floor are you on? Are you on floor 10 or 5? He asked me. "Well, I'm still on the elevator, but I'm on floor 10. Why?" I asked him. "Sorry. No, yeah, it's just I I see that, but for some reason my security cameras are detecting motion on floor 5. I looked down at my fortune, and I began to feel extremely sick. My next and my last floor is floor 5. I'm sure it's nothing. I just made my rounds there, so I'll check it back in an hour, said Sean. Wait, I said. You don't see anything on the cameras? Well, no, it's telling me it detects movement, but I can't see anything. It's dark, like really dark on floor 5. But I was just there, so I wonder if the camera's just lagging with this storm. It's no big deal. I'll check back in an hour. Hey, also, our food just got here, so get back down quick before it gets cold, okay? See you soon? Yeah. See you soon, I told him. And just like that, the intercom went off. I stared at the digital screen, reading 10 in its big, bright, red numbers. I looked down at my fortune once more. Level 5 is the last number. Follow the numbers in order to get to the other side. Don't look at the lady that enters on level 5. Sean just told me that his security cameras are detecting movement on floor 5. Is that some sort of coincidence? This is really ridiculous what I'm even doing right now when I should be working. I stared at the digital screen that read 10 once more, and I placed my finger over number 1. I was about to break the sequence. I was about to go and enjoy some late night Japanese food with my friend downstairs. And I was going to also go write the best story to get published tomorrow morning. But instead, without even realizing it, I pressed down on number 5, and the elevator began to descend. I was frozen. What did I just do? It was almost like I was caught in a trance. Or maybe curiosity just got the best of me. And instead of just going down to the lobby, I'm now going to floor 5. This time, the elevator moved at a normal pace. There was no bumps back and forth, no flickering light. I still had no elevator music, so it was just smooth silence all the way down. Lastly, I heard it, the bell to the elevator. The doors open. Black. Nothing but black. Sean wasn't kidding when he said it was just completely dark down here. The lights were completely off as I stared out to what was like an endless black abyss of nothing. I couldn't really make out any chairs, desks, windows. Again, just nothing. I left half of my body inside the elevator as I stuck the other half out, standing outside, trying to make sense of it all. The light coming from inside the elevator did absolutely nothing. It doesn't provide me any light towards this area. As I stick out my hand, straight, almost waving it, trying to see if I could touch or feel anything, maybe like a wall. But there was absolutely nothing. I stepped back inside the elevator and began laughing. What was I so worried about? There's nothing here, literally. I continued laughing as I stood there. I noticed that for some reason, this time, the elevator doors didn't begin to shut like it usually did. That's weird. I looked at my fortune and then looked up at the digital screen that read 05. Well, I guess I'm done. That's it, I said to myself. I approached the buttons on the elevator and selected the one that closed the elevator doors shut. However, when I pressed it down, nothing happened. I was confused, so I did it again, this time firmly holding it down. But nothing. I tried then hitting the intercom, hoping I could reach Sean again, since he should answer. He is waiting for me at his desk. As I pressed it down, only static filled the elevator, and then it went out. There was no voicemail, no Sean. So I went back over to the elevator buttons and stared at them. I just want to get back to the lobby. I'll just press down on number 1. I placed my finger over the button and pressed down. And that's when I heard it. That's when I heard her. Footsteps began approaching from the distance. Realizing this, I quickly pressed down on that button for the doors to close, but they didn't. The footsteps, although they sounded slow, I could hear them getting closer. I pressed down on number 1 again, repeatedly. Come on, come on, come on, what are you waiting for? I said it in a panic. Nothing but panic began to run down my body, as I could do nothing but hear the footsteps getting closer and closer and closer. I frantically continued to press down on number 1 over and over again until she entered the elevator. I didn't look directly at her, but as I was looking down over from the elevator buttons, I could see her from the corner of my eyes, and I knew she wasn't normal. She wasn't human.